Yo, what is going on? Super straightforward video today. We're just going to find out how to control what your device displays according to the device's current orientation. You have two different extracted widgets, my column and my row, and they're essentially just the same three containers, except one's display is optimal for portrait display, that's my column, and then my row is optimal for landscape display. So what we want to do is when we hit rotate, it automatically changes to the row. Now don't look at the code because that's not updated. I don't want to give you guys a spoiler, but this is essentially the final goal. Instead of this functionality right here, right now, if I just hit this, it crashes and you get the error right here, as you can see. And if I change this to the row version of the containers being displayed, then this is what you get and it works. But once again, if you turn it into portrait, it crashes as well. So if you want to learn how to avoid this, all you got to do is stick around. Here we are. I'm just going to quickly show you what's up. Basically, we have a class called myColumn that pretty much just has a column with three containers, which are these ones right here. And the exact same containers are under myRow, but with a row widget so that they can be displayed in a landscape orientation. So obviously we don't want to have to change our code whenever the user changes their device's orientation. That would be impossible, so that's definitely not an option. But fortunately for us, there's something called media queries, and that's exactly what we're going to use to help us out with this issue. So MediaQuery.of context, and then all you got to do is type in .orientation. That's it. Now we have access to the device's orientation. And please notice that I'm not placing this code here between the stateless widget beginning and before the override method. I'm placing it once the build method begins, okay? This is the method, this is when it begins, and this is where the code is. Only after the code we return. So make sure you put this in the right place, because we can only access this once the build method runs. And once the build method runs, not only will we access it, I'm going to show you what happens when we print it. So device orientation right here, I'm going to hit save. And now, as you can see, it says right here, orientation.portrait. So it's an enum. And if we do this, it will crash. But you can see right here, orientation.landscape. So now we officially know what the values are for each orientation. That means all we got to do is use a ternary operator to make the app do what we want. So there's more than one way to do this. One of the ways could be this one right here. You take the device orientation and you say, if this equals orientation.portrait or landscape, it depends on how you want to do it, then I want this to happen, my column. I want this to be displayed. But if that's not true, if this right here does not equal orientation.portrait, we know that it equals orientation.landscape. So we come over here and we say my row. I want you to remember that this is my column, column with three containers, and then we have my row. So that's what we're using right here. And this literally is it. Like if I save this and then I just, first of all, if you're using the emulator or your phone, make sure that this is on the device orientation, and then all you gotta do is press this, and as you can see, it adapts straight away. Now it's displaying the row. It no longer crashes, and of course we're still printing the orientation. So now we can just go back and forth and it never crashes. As you can see, once it builds the new display, it changes what the widget in this case is, because this is technically a widget that we created ourselves. So that's all you gotta do, and you can turn it upside down, you can do whatever you want. And if you don't want to do it like this, you also have another option. For example, you could just say is portrait, and then you take this and you place it here, and all you would have to do is say this is portrait. This will work all the same. You could also do it the other way around, is landscape. It's really up to you. It's not important at all. You would literally just have to change this to landscape. Let's change this to then here, and then you obviously reverse this and it would work all the same. Pretty basic stuff. So if you know how to do this, then this can be very helpful for you to make sure you control the display of your app whenever it's on landscape or portrait. We always have to make sure our apps are responsive, otherwise they're not very good apps, now are they? Well, that's it for today. If this video helped you in any way or form, please leave me a like, and if you want to keep on learning more and more about Flutter, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. This is Flutter Mentor, and out.